Well, it's about as far up as I can get. As always, thought I should turn around quite a ways back there. But you know, what fun is that? So came on up, and this deep stuff right here is what I got stuck in. But man, it couldn't be a more beautiful day. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it all the way up this road to the butte. This is 4,000 feet. Oh, it couldn't be more beautiful out here, man. It's 24 degrees right now. And this is just my backpacking gear. A couple of the layers, and then my rain stuff to stop the wind shear. But it is totally warm. Achoo! Oh, I'm gonna have to stop and make a cup of soup or something just to hang out. I will have to admit this ride is quite a bit gnarlier than what I had planned on. I knew I might see just a little bit of snow, but sliced up some apples, Red Delicious, Granny Smiths, some strawberries, sugar and cinnamon. Put them in the dehydrator for about 5 or 6 hours. It might have been 7 hours. Non-genetically modified, no preservatives, didn't come in a $4 bag. That's just kind of cool. This is a little bit creepy. You got these footsteps that come up out of the woods. Look at that compared to my foot. But where is it? And even if I step down, there's no way I can make a hole that deep. Sasquatch? And then turns right around and goes right back into the woods. This is ridiculous. Look at how big that is. Look at this guy's little tracks here. Whoa! Whoa! You're following him all the way down. Look at that. There he is again. He's just making tracks. He turned off. Heading on our way back down, but gotta make sure we stop and take in some of the views, you know. I'm gonna head right up there. The Mountain House chili mac with beef. Man, you can't go wrong with that. Look at that bad boy. That is almost already boiling. Well, as I sit here waiting for the chili mac to heat up, and I saw this little hill, so I did come down that. Pretty hairy, I'll have to admit. I was a little spooked, but the question now is, can I go up that? Woo-hoo. Oh yeah. I think getting a little lunch right now and go blaze another trail. Chili mac with beef, that is a winner right there. Just a side note on that chili mac. My stomach hasn't stopped gurgling, and I got a sensitive stomach anyway. I think I'm just getting older. I may have to start dehydrating my own meals. Yeah, feeling kind of bloated there, so we're gonna walk this off. I found to add to my arsenal of coffees, camp coffees, this little Nescafe 2-in-1. It's got cream and sugar already added, so we're gonna try this out. Woo, that smells good. That is strong smelling. Nope. I don't taste the cream or sugar, and the coffee is a little dark for me. So I still got to go back to my old favorites, the Medaglia d'Oro Instant Espresso. My other little treat is the Trader Joe's single packet with cream and sugar. That one is very good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna dump this one out and start over with that Trader Joe's. Rather than spend a miserable night in a hammock in the freezing weather with wet feet, head on into Seattle and go check out some bike stores, look for some waterproof bike boots. So gonna spend the night with my sister and my nephews and my brother-in-law, jump off my bike, head up to Seattle, check out some stores. Don't get to see that every day. Going through Chinook Pass, headed to Seattle. Well, I'm back home from the Seattle trip, guys, and here's the boot I went with, the Alpinestar Cortisol. There's the back, Alpinestar Cortisol. Several things I'd like to give you for tips for those of you that are looking for biking boots. If you're anything like me, you'll probably do tons of research and tons of YouTube videos before you finally buy a boot. And you may even decide what boot you want just based on your research. But I learned by trying them on, here's what sold these boots for me. This is not the boot that I intended to buy. But when I opened the boot up, you got your waterproof lining here. When I opened up the boot and slid my foot in there, immediately this test right here is exactly when I knew this is the perfect boot for me. Just sliding your foot in like that, this shoe fits my foot like a glove. There she is. I got a long, skinny, narrow foot. So when I slid my foot into this boot and it felt right at home immediately, just sliding it in there. Boom! Right there, man. This thing feels like an awesome slide-on shoe, and then it only gets better. You zip up the top, boom. You clip in your snaps here, boom, boom. And I am bulletproof. My foot doesn't move. It's not going anywhere. It's comfortable. The same day I bought these, they felt comfortable. I can walk around in these all day. So that's my number one tip. Slide your foot in. If the thing cups your foot right away and feels awesome, that's tip number one. Tip number two is going to be the sizing on a boot. If you're studying about these online, you'll know that these motorcycle boots tend to come in whole sizes only. 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, but there is a little bit of wiggle room in that. If you look at my boot, it's called a size 11 American, but it's a 45.5 European. What I noticed is that other 11s in different boots were 45 even. So apparently this US size 11 is a generic catch-all for 45 boots and for 45.5 boots. So don't just trust the 11, because you may get an 11 and it may be a half size too big for you. Even though the boot's called an 11, you'll want to ask, is it a 45 or is it a 45.5? Because they'll be slightly different sizes. It may be slightly bigger than what you want, maybe slightly smaller than what you want. This boot, the Cortisol, was about $180. Which I was extremely happy, because at first I was looking at the Alpinestar Toucan. I think that's the name of it, the Toucan, the $400 boot. And I put my foot in that thing and it was way too, it didn't grab my foot like this one does. So it's not always the more expensive boot, it's better. Love this boot, I've ridden with it several times. The Alpinestar Cortisol, I would recommend it. Very comfortable for long, skinny, narrow feet. The other thing you got to realize is your narrow ankles, and if you have a narrow calf, you can run out of adjustment on, I'm practically the last little notch here in order for this thing to be tight on my ankles, tight on my calf, and this thing, even if I close it as tight as possible, it's still a little bit of room. So if you got little calves, little ankles, you definitely don't want to just go for a shoe because of the name or the price. You want to slide your foot in there and make sure it's a comfortable fit. In hindsight, guys, I love the boot. It fits awesome, especially if it's your first motorcycle boot, just to getting used to it. I love it. I will say, though, that I've already can tell that I'm going to push myself riding off-road. I like going through the trees. I like getting off the trail. I like going over rocks. I mean, for some reason, I just thought I would be riding logging roads like you saw in the video. But I am attracted to jumping off, and I've found out that you're jamming your foot down quite a bit and stuff is hitting your foot. So in hindsight, because I can tell I'm going to push my riding a little bit more severe, even though this boot has got great support, it's all leather, which means it'll bend left and right, which means that doesn't, forward and backward, you're awesome, you're good. But because this is all leather, it will collapse that way. And I think I may be in the market for maybe more of a motocross boot with more armor, more protection for your ankle, because I sure don't want something twisting and breaking. For just regular off-road riding, staying on the trails, and staying to the logging roads, this is probably going to do it for you. And it's economical.